What's up, Tweener heads? Welcome back to another video, and today we have another interview today. Yes, another interview with professional tennis player, recent graduate of Cal University, Maegan Manasse. Now, I met Maegan back in Houston when I just covered the Houston Oracle Challenger event just last week, and she's a really great person. I got to get to know her behind the scenes of what she's really like and what it's like to become a pro athlete, as well as graduating college from playing college tennis to pro tennis. So that was a really fun interview that we get to talk about, and make sure to check her out. She's a really great person. I can't wait for you guys to meet her. So here we go, interview with Maegan Manasse. And before I forget, guys, make sure you leave a like on this video and subscribe to Tweener Head. We have a lot of good content coming out soon, so make sure to check us out on all our social medias, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Make sure to check out all those. We do have a new Instagram as well, so make sure to follow us at Tweener Head Tennis. And if you want to see more behind the scenes, go to www.tweenerheadtennis.com if you want some cool merch, as well as behind the scenes articles. Hope to see you guys soon. Thanks, guys. We are here with Maegan Manasse, former Cal singles and doubles player who graduated this past May, correct? Because you're redshirt?
Well, I didn't redshirt. I finished my first 4 years, and I still had some schooling left over, so I just decided to stay with the team, and since I got my surgery, then I spaced it out for the rest of the year, and then I also helped out by volunteering.
Okay, very nice. Because it says in your senior year you stopped. Your senior year was 2016, 2017.
Yes.
Yeah, because when I looked for you in the 2017-2018, the team photo didn't have you, so I started to panic.
Oh yeah, no, 2017, 2018, I was the volunteer assistant, so
okay.
I had like a different bio.
Okay. I was wondering where you were. So, me and Maegan met in Houston during the Oracle Challenger, which she won, by the way. So, congratulations to her.
Thank you.
Did it finally hit you after you left? After I dropped you off from the airport?
Yeah, you know what? It was starting to hit me once we sat in the car, and I was kind of just like relaxing, or not. I was starting to relax a little bit.
Okay.
Besides panicking to make my flight, but I was just like kind of sitting there, and I was like, wow, like this happened. And then I'm not gonna lie, I rewatched the match point video a couple times, and
yeah,
definitely it started to sink in, and was really happy.
You're welcome for that, by the way. That was my video.
It was a great video.
Thank you. Maegan is now in the top 300 for doubles. She's about to crack the top 400. We wanted to get to know what she's like off the court as well as on the court. Is she, as a college tennis player, I have a lot of questions of what she was like as just growing up. So let's get straight into it. So Maegan comes from a tennis family background where both her older sisters played college tennis, and then Maegan became kind of the star of the family by going to Cal and being the #1 player for doubles and singles for their team, ranking both top 50 in both singles and doubles by her senior year. So how did you kind of follow in the family footsteps?
Well, I mean, growing up, it was always my sisters and I shared lessons. We split an hour lesson amongst the three of us.
Okay.
So I had always just been around tennis, and I've always just tennis. We've always been known as the tennis family, because even the families around the club that we worked at were always like, "Oh, like you're another Manasse, huh?" Like, and you're like, "Oh, are you the youngest one? Are you Rachel's sister? Are you Stephanie's sister?" So it's just like I was always around tennis, but it was fun because I always saw my sisters competing in tennis tournaments, and they were doing well. You could see that. I mean, our house with their trophies was filled with their trophies, and it kind of inspired me to want to keep playing. And I mean, as having two older sisters, you can tend to get competitive,
of course,
which is, I mean, not that I would, they're too much older than me that I would never had to play them. But it was just they honestly inspired me to keep playing. And then, once I kind of got older, I saw that, Stephanie, my oldest sister, played college tennis, and that's when I kind of got to know what it was about. And then Rachel got a scholarship into Long Beach State, and I was like, oh, so maybe this is possible.
Okay.
And then once I got to high school, that's when I was like, oh wow, this is really possible.
It became legit.
I could go to college.
It became a reality for you.
Yes, exactly.
At what age did you start kicking their butt?
Well, to this day, we honestly have never played a practice
match.
Because my oldest sister was too much older than me, so it'd be we would just hit for fun. But my other sister, she would she would get paid to hit with me, and then they were just like always too much older than me, so it was like never really like we could never really play a match against each other. But even if we did, it would just get really, really competitive, and not competitive in like the fun way. It would be like, like someone's not coming home for dinner kind of thing. Yeah, so it just gets too competitive. So to this day, we've never played a competitive match.
And Rachel, your older sister, but the middle one, is traveling with you as kind of your coach. So it still amazes me what you just said. Like, how do you not play a competitive match? I mean, don't you think it would be like the best for you to get a practice set in, or is it?
We play points. Like, we'll play practice points, and like we'll do drilling. But she mostly like helps me out with like specifics that I want to do. And like there's enough people in LA where I can find practice matches and like play points, or like play like real points against. But I mean, I think it's still like partly deep down where I don't really want to play my sister in a set. It would just end badly for all of us, honestly.
It would just end poorly.
Yeah, exactly.
So at what point did you say, I asked this to you in Houston, but I kind of wanted to elaborate on it. What made you decide to kind of try the pro circuit first? Because you graduated from Cal, and you having that education, for me, I grew up learning student athlete first. So having that education kind of not as the fallback, but it's nice to have that. So why'd you go pro instead of pursuing something that you graduated with?
Well, my first semester of schooling, like I wasn't sure if I really wanted to go pro because I wasn't doing as well as I thought I would. So I was like, I wasn't completely sure if I wanted to do it. But my sophomore year, that's when I started playing much better, and my results were improving. And I think that was when I got up to number one in the ITA rankings. And then that opened up more opportunities for me to like travel with the USTA team over the summer and then play tournaments together. So then they also made that transition from college tennis into pro tennis much easier. So it was nice, like having that door open for me to see what it was like.
Gotcha.
And that made me realize I was like, well, I mean, I might as well give it a shot. I mean, there's no harm in trying now because I think I could do decently well, and it would be a lot of fun to see what being a professional athlete is like. Because, like, I mean, growing up, I've always dreamed of being a professional tennis player. So it was just nice being able to, like, follow that dream of mine. And
has your dream has it lived up to what it has been so far? Like, what you expected?
So far, yeah, a little bit. I mean, it's been interesting because, like, you think when you're growing up, being a professional tennis player is only the Grand Slams and like being on TV and all that intense stuff. But it's actually been like even better than I realized because you play all these tournaments and then sometimes like, I mean, even in Uber, they're like, oh, what do you do? And I'm like, oh, I'm a professional tennis player. And everyone kind of geeks out a little bit. And it's just really exciting because then I can actually consider myself a pro tennis player and hopefully soon enough that I can actually be in those Grand Slams just like I thought when I was a kid.
That's so when people geek out at you, do you get excited when people like?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, when people they're like, oh, what do you like? Where are you coming from? I'm like, oh yeah, I just came from this tournament, like this professional tournament. I'm going to a professional tournament. They're like, oh, that's so cool. I had this Uber actually in Houston. Yeah. I was like, oh, I have so much respect for you. You get to represent your country. Like, that's so amazing. And it was just, it felt really good, like, hearing that, honestly.
That's like a whole nother experience where that's awesome. And
yeah, exactly.
Speaking about representing your country, the Masters U BNP Paribas title in France.
Oh, you're digging deep.
Yeah, I'm looking at the USTA article and I'm actually doing research. Did you win that?
Yeah, so it was like a team thing. So they
walk me through that as well as like the listeners of what that is, and I've never heard of this.
Okay, so it's I mean, I'm not gonna lie, it's a pretty prestigious event. So they you have to be American, and they take like the top 3 Americans in the ITA. And for men's and women's, and they bring us to this like university games kind of thing where
Gotcha.
like you have 3 like girls, 3 boys, and you play like 2 singles, a doubles match for men's and women's.
Okay.
And then a mixed doubles, and then you kind of represent like the U.S. amongst like universities.
Okay.
In the whole world. So like we played we played like Germany, France, other countries like that, and we as a whole team won the whole thing. And it was funny because like Danielle Collins was on that team, and so was Mackie McDonald, and Tom Fawcett, who's like just rising up in the ranks too. And there's like even if you look at the previous years, like there's a lot of rising stars like Pasha and Robin Anderson, and like just like a long list of people.
And what was it like to be selected for that kind of prestigious event? Because I think people in college have never really, or tennis fans really have never really heard of this. So what's that like to kind of represent your country as, I think in retrospect, as a mini Davis Cup on the college level?
Yeah, that's pretty much what it is. I mean, at first you get like get kind of a taste of it when you represent a school, but then once you get invited to represent like your country, it's really amazing, because then they look at you and they look at like that you represent the country as a whole, and then, like, that's just it's honestly really cool, because I had so much fun. I mean, we went to France, so that was the first time I traveled outside of the country to play a tennis tournament. So overall, the whole experience was amazing, and especially since we won the whole thing, that was just like the cherry on top of everything. That's
even better. And
yeah.
Do you miss anything when it comes to that kind of atmosphere now that you're a professional?
Well, honestly, the hardest part about being a professional compared to like that is that it's not really a team. You play for yourself in professional tennis, so it's definitely way different. But then when you're playing for a team, like even in college tennis, you have like all your like really good friends by your side. And then you fight for a common goal. And like once you reach that goal, then it's just like it's great. It's one of the greatest feelings, and especially being able to do that together. Because even like, I mean, this is a silly example, but when you're working out like by yourself, it's much easier to work out with a group of people than it is by yourself.
No, that's spot on. I totally agree with that.
So it was a lot of fun being able to like work with a couple other people that are very good college players, like top in the ITA, and being able to work towards a common goal while representing your country.
That's awesome. I think a lot of people should really use that and look at that as a bigger achievement than it is. Do you ever get lonely on tour now that you're not with a team?
It's hard. That's very true, because like you have like these tournaments. I mean, I hate to say in the middle of nowhere, but there's some tournaments like
in different locations. There's some tournaments in different locations where you have some friends that go with you, and then there was one tournament that I played in Kentucky where I actually made I had some friends that I already knew from college, where we got a lot closer. So I feel like I've strengthened a lot of relationships. But then, I mean, I got to the finals of that tournament, and once you get to the finals, and everyone starts leaving. And it's just kind of sad, because I mean, I stayed in housing, and I didn't have anyone that I knew too well in housing, so it's kind of tough. You speak with a housing family, so you have a lot of fun there, but then once you go to bed, then it's like, oh, well, I mean, I don't have like my friends here too much, or they're gone, or like, it's just kind of hard, especially like I haven't traveled to like very many. I've only really traveled to Canada for these tournaments, so I can only imagine what it's going to be like when you're in a different country and different time zone, when you're trying to talk to your friends and family. It'll be a culture shock for sure. I didn't mean to ask you that question so bluntly, but I feel like a lot of people don't understand that tennis is not all that glamorous, or there's not that many people around you when you first start off.
No, that's very true, and especially like when you get up to the top 100, top 50, you see like, I don't know, like for example, Roger Federer traveling with his wife, with his kids, like his 5 coaches, a nutritionist, and like a trainer. Like I mean, it doesn't get quite so lonely because he can travel his whole entire, like,
team.
Really family team with him.
Yeah.
So it's not too bad, especially you have someone with you in a different country.
Yeah.
But, like, once you're just starting, you can't really afford to travel people with you. So it's pretty tough. So even, like, when I went to Houston, I had my sister travel with me, and that was honestly great because I had a lot of company. Because, like, I knew a lot of people, but then once you go to bed, you have, like, I had my sister with me sharing the hotel room, and it just, it made it much easier. And I made some friends, like you, in Houston, so it made it much nicer.
Yay!
Exactly.
So
I got closer with Sanaz and Whitney. Like, you get closer with some people on the tour, which is good.
Yeah, I still couldn't believe I hung out with Whitney Osigwe and hanging out with you. Like, it's one of those things where, like you said, you kind of, like the Uber driver, you kind of get a little starstruck because you see all these people and you hear about them and you're like, oh, I hung out with her.
Yeah, but then you realize that we're just normal people.
No, you all are normal people, I think.
Yeah, but then once you get to, like, Roger Federer and, like Serena Williams, and
you're like, oh, you're not normal. You're not normal.
Exactly.
What do you think is, now kind of, I want to transition into more of the fun questions about this, is what's one thing you can't travel without on tour?
One thing I can't travel without on tour.
And I'm going to give you a little context here. When I interviewed Allie Kick, she said she couldn't travel without a blankie. Not kidding. Nicole Melikar, who just played for the Davis Cup, she said that she can't travel without a certain amount of shoes because she needs that variety.
Oh my gosh. I feel like I have to answer this question so specially.
No, you don't. No pressure.
Oh gosh. Okay. One thing that I can't travel without. Well, one thing that I can think of right now is sounds probably pretty silly, is my neck pillow.
No, that's no.
I know that sounds really lame.
No, it's not.
The first thing I can think of is
my
neck pillow.
It's whatever's special.
I don't know. Well, that's not really that special.
Well, it was pretty special the way you described it to me earlier. When I dropped off Megan at the airport, she said that she has a pretty bad sleeping face on a plane, so that's why she uses the neck pillow, and it's like a fly catcher when she falls asleep.
Off the record. Oh my gosh.
No,
yeah, I mean, I do have to. I had to travel with the neck pillow. Yeah, because, like, I mean, for whatever reason, when I fall asleep, my neck kind of flops around. So then my neck gets really sore if it falls over in a certain way.
Yeah.
So then, especially with, like, a lot of red-eye flights or just, I mean, all the traveling that you do as a professional athlete, I just need the neck pillow to be able to, like, sleep anywhere and just catch up on sleep, and just, especially when I'm traveling in the car. I mean, not when I'm driving, but, like,
not when you're driving. Yes, good save.
Or, like, flying. Then it's really necessary, so I can at least try and get the best sleep I can while I can get sleep.
Have you had a bad travel story?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. We have to hear that then.
Okay, so this actually wasn't when I started playing. I mean, this is earlier a couple years ago when I was still considered an amateur because I was still in college.
Oh, of course. No breaking of any NCAA violations here.
No. I was traveling from Texas, so middle of the U.S. to Pennsylvania, and
to the other side of middle of nowhere.
Yes. So it was really, I mean, if you think about it, that's maybe like a 6-hour trip because you have a flight. I had to fly to Chicago and then fly to Pennsylvania. Or Philadelphia, I think.
Okay.
So then I had woken up at 4 o'clock in the morning, and or like probably 3:30, and left my hotel at 4 o'clock in the morning. To get to the hotel. Of course. To get to the airport. Which my plane left at like probably 5:30 or 6. So everything was normal. Wow, this is a long time ago. I can't remember quite exactly what it was.
No,
but
it's okay.
I'm pretty sure I made my first flight. And I got to I made my first flight, and I got to Chicago, and I was there, and then I was getting ready for my next flight, which was I got there maybe around 9 o'clock because of the time change. and they were like, "Oh, sorry, your flight's delayed until 11." And I was like, "Okay, well, I have plenty of time. Maybe I should go and explore Philly." But I decided not to because I was like, 2 hours is not enough time, and I'm carrying my tennis bag.
You got a lot of stuff with you. You can't really move.
Exactly. So then now I'm like, it's like 10:30. My flight's coming up, and they're like, "Okay, your flight's delayed until 1 o'clock." And I'm like, I mean, come on, what is this? Like, this is horrible.
Yeah,
and this proceeded to happen 3 separate times. So it got delayed again until 4 o'clock, and delayed again until 9.
Yes.
And I'm like, okay, at this point, I could have honestly just driven from Texas to Pennsylvania and still spent the same amount of time traveling.
Exactly.
Maybe even less. So then we finally get onto the plane at 10 o'clock, and we're sitting on the plane. They're like, "Oh, I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen, we have to wait, like, even longer. Like, we're not ready to take off yet." So then I fall asleep, and I'm pretty sure we end up taking off, like, an hour later.
Yeah.
And then I get into Philly at, I think, 12:30.
Okay.
But then from Philly, we have to go to Landisville, which is another, like, hour and a half, 2-hour drive. So I don't get into my housing. I'm staying in housing, not even a hotel. So these people are either waiting for me or just left a key in the mat. I haven't even met them. And I literally get to the hotel or to the housing at like 2 o'clock in the morning, like so tired. And I had an 8 o'clock hit scheduled that next day. But we at least pushed it to like 9. So
good. You got that extra hour.
But literally I had spent close to 20 hours traveling from Texas to Pennsylvania when originally that should be like 5 or 6 at most. And that was probably one of the worst things I've ever had, was just sitting in the like airport waiting and getting so many delays. And I mean, that's just like the part of traveling, which is just horrible.
How was your hit the next morning?
Oh, horrible. Couldn't make a ball. I had 2 hits. They were both really bad. But it was okay. It ended up working out. But yeah, I definitely felt like my legs felt so heavy. I felt slow, and it was just 20 hours of just sitting in the airport. You think would be okay, but it was really just so bad.
You would think,
yeah.
right?
Yeah, because I'm just sitting half the time. But no, I was so exhausted.
Trust me, that was my flight to Houston when I went, and that was.
Oh, jeez.
I missed my flight because my flight got delayed, and then my connecting flight was a 5-hour delay.
Oh my god.
Standby was 25 people. I was very happy.
25 people?
I was 12 and I still made it. I don't know how.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, great.
Sorry to make you relive that.
Exactly. Trust me, I know traveling is a bear and not many people enjoy it, especially when you fly any airline.
Yeah, it's pretty tough.
How hard is it to travel with your amount of stuff? Sounds like a lot.
It's a lot. It's pretty difficult because, I mean, you have your suitcase, which is just under 50 pounds. Like, you know
just under 50 pounds.
Like, literally, I left and I packed, because it was so cold in Houston, I packed and my bag was 49.5 pounds. Like, when I first put it on, it said 52, and I was like, oh no. And it
Panic.
Settled and got to 49. I was like, oh my god. Like, it's bad. So you have your massive bag, but at least you don't have to take that onto the plane.
Yeah,
but then you have your also massive tennis bag.
Yeah.
And I have 6 rackets, and I have 2 pairs of shoes, and I have balls, I have my bands, I have like a change of clothes, I have another probably 25-pound bag on my back at least.
Yeah.
And then I also have to have my personal bag because I have like all my stuff and like my iPad and like just all the things that you need to take on.
The essentials.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So it's pretty hard, but I mean, you get used to it. You get used to people staring at you with the massive tennis bag on your back, and they always ask you, "What sport is this?" And you're like, "Well, I mean, I feel like it's kind of obvious, but it's fine." Like,
I'm a skier. How'd you know?
I golf for a living. Yeah, no, I have 7 skateboards in here.
How'd you know?
It's funny because they always ask, like, what sport you are, and I'm like, oh, I'm a tennis player, and they're like, oh, how many rackets do you have there? I'm like, 6, and they're like, oh, wow. But, wow. Yeah, but I mean, it's pretty hard, but, like, it's nice. I mean, no, it's nice. It's not as bad once you get used to it.
Yeah.
And then once you start traveling, if you, like, I'm kind of on vacation now, and I don't have my tennis bag with me, so it's like, I feel like I'm so light with all my stuff. I'm like, wow, this is great.
You put on a regular backpack, and it doesn't feel as heavy. You're like, oh, wow, this is nice.
Exactly. Yeah.
So, I think 2 more questions. One would be, as a college tennis player, do you think people should go to college first before they go pro?
Absolutely. 100%. 150,000%, yes, they should go to college. Especially now that there's this new rule where you, I think, only have to go for 6 months, or at least 6 months, or a year. I'm not exactly sure of the timing. And then once you go do that, then they can take you back to, you can go pro, and then you can come back whenever and still get your schooling paid for.
Okay.
I think everyone absolutely should take advantage of that and just use that. Because, I mean, well, one, I feel like it's always great being able to play for a team because you play for something bigger than yourself. So that's also a big thing. Number 2 is that, I mean, this is in no particular order.
Okay. No, it's fine.
Number 2 is like you get a degree, or like part of a degree, or in your under the steps towards a degree. Sorry, because I think obviously with like a lot of these young players, like if they're doing well, they're top 200, top 100, you're getting a lot of money. Like it seems great, and then you play more tournaments, and then you start to get injured, and then you don't have a backup plan. Because I feel like, I mean, obviously it's the goal to like play professional tennis and not have to go to school, and like that seems nice in theory, but like if you get injured, and like say this injury takes you out, like you have to get surgery, and the surgery doesn't end up working out, then what do you do? Like school gives you a great backup option. I mean, I say backup, but like, I mean, it gives you a great option just in case if you can't play tennis. Yeah. Because like you have, like, then you can then be in sports management and manage all these tennis players that you knew before, and then like still be inside like the tennis world. But I think it's so important to get your degree and have that backup option just in case. Because I mean, like, I had already gone to school and I was thinking of playing pro, but I got elbow surgery, and if for some reason that didn't work out, then like I have a degree from Cal, like as a backup option, and that's like, honestly, you can't do much better than that. And then but I think absolutely, definitely go to school if you can, and like experience that, play for someone other than yourself, get a degree, and it's just like, then you're better off that way.
And my last question would be, where do you see yourself at this time next year?
At this time next year?
Yeah. In 2019, November, excuse me. We're not December yet. November 25th, 2019, where are you?
Well, hopefully I'm also on vacation, but I've hopefully had a very successful year on the tour. I'm hoping that I have played in maybe at least 2 Grand Slams, whether it's, qualifying, I'll take it. Hopefully I'm playing more like WTA events, and just, I wouldn't mind have also come back from Houston and like maybe won the doubles again, but also have done better in singles, and maybe like raise my singles ranking, and hopefully I could be top 200 in both honestly, I would just, as long as if I keep going up, I'm really happy. Yeah. That's the goal.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Well, Maegan, thank you so much for taking your time out of your day to talk to me. I really appreciate
it. Thanks, Philip. This has been fun.
Thank you so much.